lied a little bit. Well, I didn't lie, but my brain started thinking, just as I was about to leave, my brain went, wait a minute, is the reason that the sidelights don't work that you don't have both bulbs in at the same time? So I hadn't done that, so I put them both in and tried it, and it didn't work. And then I thought, well, let me check the old bulbs, see if they're still working, and they are. So it's not a bulb issue, it's a car's brain issue, which we talked about. The other thing I'd already talked about as well was the sidelights themselves. So this one, oh, all my stuff's fallen off, don't mind that. This one was loose, whereas this one snapped in nicely. And the reason it snaps in nicely is because there's this little clip on top there. Here, I'll point it out to you. It's that fella there. Does feel quite brittle, but that snaps in, and that's what holds the light in place. All the other clips are broken on it. Just that one's what keeps it in place. On this side, it's completely gone. But what I thought I should do, well, why don't I thought to myself, because I can't stop my brain working sometimes, when I drill a little hole where the clip used to be, which you can see there, and run a cable tie through it, and then see if running that through the little recess for the clip, and see if that tidies the whole thing up a little bit. So I don't know if it will or not, but I'll put you down here for a second and see if by taking that into place, if that works or not. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try that again, but this time I'm going to route it ever so slightly differently. That didn't work because it's pulling in the opposite direction. But there's something in this. This will work. Bear with. Okay, well, I've reconfigured things ever so slightly. Instead of using the hole for the cable tie, what I've done is I've run a small bolt up through it and put a nut on it on the top, just to kind of test the theory that if I can get the angles right and pull the cable tie tightly, will that give me the sort of fit that I want. So I'll just put you there for a second. I'll balance you there precariously. What could go wrong? And we'll see if I can make this work. Right, well, we're on the road to something. I'm just not there yet. This can be fixed. Well, I did get it to fit in there in the end. It's quite, I mean, it's not super tight, but at least it's not going to fall out. And I've got, I don't know if you can see that little white sort of little butterfly, like a bolt in there. That thing in there at the back, actually, and to access it I gotta put my hand down in through this gap here, in and around the air box in the back of the headlamp, and then literally get my little fingertips on that, you can see them in there, on that little thing, and try and twist it on. So really it's fingertip stuff. Actually, so trying to tighten it, that's what holds that's what's basically holding the thing on. The clips are meant to kind of keep it flush with the light, and they're all broken, so. But it's better, at least it's not hanging out and loose like it was. The other side is fine. You can see it has a clip on the top, and then it also has its little butterfly jobby down there. Is much easier to access. You can see it there. So you can just twist it in, and it's no issue really. But at least that's one job. One job done for the MOT. I'm probably still going to end up getting new side lamps anyways, because both of them are a bit knackered and the plastic is so brittle, but I think for now that's okay. Actually, no, when you stand back at it, if I didn't point it out to you, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'll put the bonnet down and see how it looks. I know I shouldn't have done any jobs today, I promised myself I wouldn't, but every time I see this thing I just want to work on it. It's just a fascinating bit of kit. So let's have a look, see how does that look. That's not too bad. Like I say, unless I pointed it out to you, you wouldn't tell the difference. What a handsome thing it is, isn't it? Really is a cracking looking car. I cannot wait to get this thing back on the road. But there's a long road before I get it back on the road. Oh, I don't know if you just saw that, but that was the brake lights flashing on for a split second. I've just turned it on to take it out to recharge it, and as I turned it on, I noticed a flash from the back of it. There, it did it again. So there's not only is the top brake light flashing, but also the indicators are. So all of that is telling me there's a light control module problem with this car. Now, I've heard that the ECUs in that are it's doing it again, are very sensitive to voltage, and the battery is quite dubious on this car. It's a BMW battery, so it's the same. Well, it's not original. I doubt it's original, but it's got to be a few years old, because I doubt it's been a while since this thing has been in a proper garage. But I'm happy to see it. Well, I'm not happy to see it, but I'm happy that we're possibly getting closer to resolving the issue. The fact that I've got this happening, and there it did it again. The fact that I've got side lights not working, I'm getting a dipped beam warning light, and the fog lights don't work. All of that's telling me that there's a light control module problem with this car. In any case, the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is get a new battery for it, because it's going to need that anyways. That's something you want to rely on, and this one has already gone dead. I had to jump this today because it had already gone dead, so that battery probably isn't brilliant anyways. So I'll replace that and see if the voltage sorts out the lighting issue. I doubt it will, in which case I'll go off and I'll send that LCM off for refurbishment. But you know, the refurbishment's about 60, 70 quid or something like that, so it's not too bad. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm glad we're getting closer to where we need to be. I am not a fan of trying to squeeze this thing in and out of my garage. The distance is quite narrow, but it just about makes it. Oh, I just realised I've got things up on the roof there I need to take off. There, in relation to the top of the windscreen. So anyway, put this over there. So right, let's take this out in a little bit. Width-wise, it's okay. But it's the top. It isn't even the back, it's the centre bit. Right, let's come back a few feet. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, still a bit snug. Keep going. Try another little bit. Ooh. God, this thing's got some go. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're clear. We're up. So no issue height-wise. When I brought it in, it kind of kissed the little handle, but I've since taken that off. So we are now good. So we're now at the point where we're quite close to the door sides. Mirrors in. Put the right hand down. Squeeze this out. Happy days, back out into the wild. The only reason I'm taking it out is because I want to put the side sills and stuff on it, and it's just a bit easier to do it out in the open. Yeah, Christ. It's a big old lump, this thing. Oh, I'm excited about getting this thing back on the road. It's going to be great. Right. Makes a good sound, runs well. Just a few little issues to sort, and this is going to be an epic bit of kit. So in anticipation of having to weld up the Range Rover, I thought it would be a good idea to actually do a little bit of practice beforehand. So I took the welder that my mate Paul loaned me. I got some gas, some argon on CO2, which is what recommended. I don't know anything about welding, so I'm just looking things up online and hoping that what I get is the right stuff. I got a little regulator valve for it. I know that it's running 0.8 mil wire, which is probably a little heavy for what I need. So I've got 0.6 coming, and also when I weld the car up, I'm going to use this metal here, which is 0.8 mil mild steel, which is, you know, about the right thickness to repair the car. It's more malleable than the stuff I'm using here, which is 1 mil. But I ordered this just so I could practice, and that's exactly what I've done. I've cut a piece off it, and I've just folded it over and welded it on. Got another piece of steel that I had lying around. I'm just basically experimenting, and I have to say, I mean, it's shit, don't get me wrong. I'm under no delusions or illusions that this is good welding, but there are little flashes of not too shit in all of this. And even so, the thing that surprises me is I fully expected this to come flying off, but it's on there pretty good. It's surprisingly weldy. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm really chuffed. And I think, you know, with a bit of grind, and also, sorry, just as an aside, looking underneath, you know, this is a good measure of how good or bad your welds are. And some of them are a bit shit, and some of them I've over welded. But you know, by and large, the penetration isn't too bad. I still have a bit of fiddling to do with wire speed and all that kind of stuff. But you know, for a first attempt, I haven't set the place on fire, and the metal is hanging together, so I'm pretty pleased. But the big thing about this is, I think, you know, with a bit more practice, and you know, a little bit more finessing, I think I'll be able to execute a pretty good repair in the range, and in the process, learn something new, which is great. So I'm on my way to bring project L322 for its MOT. It's my first time to get it out on the road and kind of get a feel for what it's like. Good news is, I mean, there's no squeaks, rattles, bangs. There's a little bit of a rumble out of the front suspension, but I knew that was the case. But other than that, it seems fine. Steers nicely, fires up nice and sweetly, makes a lovely noise. You know, hopefully. Now I did notice, because it's dark, that I get a dipped beam warning when I turn it on, and one of the lights is pointing at the floor. So I'm hopeful that the LCI will fix that the self-leveling mechanism might be related to that. I hope that's the case. Otherwise, there'll be another head scratcher. But I haven't found anything in my short drive this morning to indicate there's anything more than what we already know, which is wonky lights, cracked windscreen, slightly rumbly suspension, and a bit of rust. So let's get it to the MOT center. Let's see what they come back with later today, and hopefully, oh god, this thing takes off well. That's a great noise. But anyway, hopefully the to-do list won't be not too much longer than what I already have.